Hello everyone, this is Jimmy and welcome to episode 21 of All the Mods 3 Extra Mode. Sorry, I kind of lost my train of thought there for a second. I had to look up what episode number we were on. Anyways, between episodes, I have trained ourselves up to level 30. Let me show you how I did that really quick here. I basically just set conveyor belts in a square. First I tried these belts, but these are very slow. So then I used the industrial foregoing belts, which are a bit faster, and I just AFK'd on here. I did notice that after about 10-ish minutes, it would like stop giving you EXP. I think it's some type of, anti-AFK type measure. So every 10 minutes, it would reset if you hit any of your movement keys. So like, every now and then I would just tap back into the game and hit a movement key while I was working on other stuff. So yeah, now we're at max level, but our build is not reasonable. All these perks, mostly they go into perk EXP, and I can just show you here. We have a lot of perk EXP gain, but like it doesn't really give us all that much usefulness. So let's make the thing that lets us respec, but keep our points. And I still have to figure out what I want to respec into. The most interesting points that I think is here is where's the one that gives you? Well, that one's a very convenient thing. A pickaxe can be used so you don't have to carry stuff around. But this one, fortune. Now, generally speaking, like the parts of the tree are themed to where you start, right? So it's like, do you want, utility from Visio, resistances from Amara, damage from Dissidia, mining related stuff from Evorcio, or this is like, I guess, maximum life and bit more resistance related stuff from Avedius. Well, I don't really need like, more damage. I do plenty of damage. I don't need resistances like this because I'm not planning on killing the Chaos Dragon with Astral Sorcery gear. Although it is nice, if you take the right perks in here, you can survive the Chaos Dragon, shall we say, with Astral Sorcery equipment. So I'm probably going to mostly focus on like the mining related stuff, even though I don't go mining a lot. But there's a few nice utility perks in here, as I've mentioned. Anyways, to reset your points, you need a shifting star. I'm sorry, not a shifting star. A shifting star will reset your points, but it also gets rid of your attunement in the process, so you lose all your EXP. You first have to make a shifting star and then turn it into an irradiant star. And there's 5 different ones depending on which of the root nodes you want to be connected to. And I guess they're used for other late game crafting as well. Anyways, so I'm going to craft the appropriate irradiant star. The root node I want to use is this one, Avedius. So I'm going to have to attune a crystal to it so I can craft its variant of the irradiant star. So that would be this one. And then I just need some of these items. So I've got my irradiant star here. All I have to do is hold it for a while and it will activate. There we go. And you see our perks, we've now switched to, we are now attuned with Avedius. Now, as for what exactly points I want, I kind of roughly have it mapped out, but there's one more thing that will at least just slightly affect my decision making. Man, it feels slow. Maybe I want movement speed instead. And those are these gems. So some of these perks say, if I can find one, empty gem slot. Here we go. So there are a few like empty gem sockets, and there's basically a couple, I guess really just one that is kind of on the way. But I'm gonna break these gems. If you see that they're sparkling, then they're ready to break. These are made the same way as you create celestial crystals. So you throw a rock crystal in a puddle of liquid starlight, but instead of throwing them with stardust, you use a glowstone. But I did that off camera because this process also takes a long time. So anyways, when you break them, you get these gems, and they have different effects. So I'm going to see if I get any that are interesting enough that I want to pick up a gem socket along the way. Looks like some of these aren't done yet either. Womp womp. These gems just look like they give more, of stats. I was hoping they'd be potentially unique effects, but I mean, some of these are nice, more life, more movement speed, more crit chance, sure. All these seem good, but they don't seem good enough that I really want to go out of my way to grab a gem slot, because the gem slots are kind of behind pretty useless perks. It's like, yay, 2% more perk effectiveness. All right, whatever. So here's what I'm planning on doing. Go down to here, get a bit more life. I want to get over to this one. So we go this way. It's a mining speed along the way. Not that I'll be doing much mining, but whatever. Then I want to get up to fortune. So go around here. Tiny bit more increased mining speed. There we go. So this always applies. I believe that also means that it takes the fortune 3 from our pickaxe up to fortune 4, which is cool. Then I want to pick up cleansing. This will get, like, if I'm fighting something that withers me or wither or poison or any other effect, it'll have a chance to remove it. And I want to pick up trash to treasure. This is potentially a bit of an exploit. I went looking in the configs and I saw that this has a chance to do something pretty unique. Which it's unique to the point where I actually think it almost definitely is an exploit. So I don't know how much I'll actually abuse it. But I do want to test to see if it works. And that is, I'll talk about our last 3 points in a second. That is, it has a chance to give osmium ore. And with the fact that the end goal of tier 4 is to make osmium, I'm just kind of like, could I? Maybe? Even if I get it, I'm probably not going to, go out of my way to break progression, because that's abusing an exploit, and that's not what I want to do. In any event, that leaves me 3 points left. I'm not quite sure what I want. But there's nothing terribly exciting within 3 points. Like, if I could pick up this gem socket with my remaining 3 points, I would. But it's one too far away. I'll probably just grab some stuff like, perk effectiveness or something. I don't know. Mining speed, life. Wait a second. I had an epiphany. Instead of taking this 1, 2, 3, 4, those 5 points, I can just take this point and I still have a, valid tree. That if I do that, I free up 4 more points, which can allow me to get to this gems. I believe this one, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah, 4 plus 3. So I can get to this gem socket. Haha. To do so, I made another radiant star to respec again. Changed my mind yet again regarding the perks. I think I'm actually going to do this instead. 3, 4, 5, 6, or 4, 5, 6, 7. Let's see. I assume these are all the same. Alright. So if I do this gives me 3 more points, which lets me grab all 4 roots. And I think 4 roots is better than the gem slot, in practice. Crit chance, a bit more effectiveness, a bit of resistance, a bit more life, or a bit more life recovery, I guess. And a slightly increased reach. So, end of the day, I put a lot of work into getting these perks, but they provide a non-trivial benefit. I mean, I have green hearts now. I think I only had orange hearts before, right? So I gained like a full bar of yellow hearts and some green hearts. That's not half bad. Anyways, I think we've done enough of the perks stuff, so let's put that behind us. Next up, I want to improve our production of star metal. So right now, to make star metal, I have to, make the ore, and to do so, I have to travel to our, to one of our Acid Sorcery crystals, the floating crystals. But now that we have the ability to make collector crystals, I no longer have to do that. I can just set up a collector crystal somewhere and have that, be my source of starlight for producing what's it called, star metal. So I'm going to set up another one of those. There is a slight limitation on these insofar as they cannot be too close to each other. I think they have an exclusionary zone of about 15 blocks radius. So if you have 2 within the same range, they, basically the lore is they use up the same source of starlight. So I'll build it. I don't know. I'll find somewhere that's at least 15 blocks away from that one. Maybe I'll tear up this thing because I don't think I care for the gems anymore. There's a couple advantages to doing this with our own collector crystal instead of the one in the altars. First of all, we can do it, we can make our our star metal here in our base, which is nice. But I think the biggest advantage is it is much faster. So I want to link you to this, and we should see that if I turn this on, what I'm doing is placing. Whoopsies! I have to actually put the iron ore in here. I guess that is not quite enough of a delay, huh? Shoot. All right, hold on. I was hoping that it could transform the star metal that within a couple ticks, but I guess I need a more than 4 tick delay here. I tweaked the timings a little bit, so now it's 30 ticks per cycle before using the. I guess I put it already. The clock was only 20 ticks, and then it takes it about 25 ticks to transform the ore. And this is during daytime. I think the rate gets slightly better at nighttime, although not by a tremendous amount. The Celestial Collector Crystal here is pretty good regardless day or night, and it appears I'm out of iron ore. Yeah, it looks like the rest of my iron is still, Let me go grab some more iron so we can make sure this works. The laser drill's been blasting away here, and we have almost a full drawer of, well, that's a lot of dimensional shard ore. Almost a full drawer of coal ore, but oh, that's a lot of rock crystal ore too. 700. I'll grab like 4 stacks to turn into star metal. And yeah, you can see it is actually meaningfully faster at night. The transmutation is almost instant, but whatever. It's automated. Just put iron ore in here. After a little while, we get star metal ore here, and then I just have to turn it into ingots or dust, depending on which I need at the moment. All right, so next up, let's get into Astral Sorcery Rituals. There are 2 in particular that I want. Those are, let's see if we open our books. One is a Visio one, so the ritual effect basically gives you creative flight in a relatively large radius. With that, we'll be able to have creative flight at least in the area around our base, which is a good start. The other one, which is even less useful perhaps, but I'm going to do it anyways, is it this one? Nope, this is, you can use this to give your crops more growth rate, but it's not very powerful in my experience. It's not like, basically it's easier just to add more sprinklers. And it's Evorcio? No, which one? It's the one that prevents hostile mobs from spawning. Is it this one? Yeah, it prevents hostile spawns in like a 300 block radius, which is, I mean, I could just put a bunch of these, mega torches down. You see that one hiding down there, but it's easier just to run one ritual than it is to put a bunch of torches down. To do rituals, you have to attune crystals to the appropriate constellation. So I'm doing Lucerna now. It takes at least 1, although for maximum effect you will need 2. So I'm going to be doing 2. 1 you'll want to leave as a regular crystal, a celestial crystal, and 1 you want to turn into a collector crystal, or one of, those floaty thingies. We'll also need to craft 1 ritual pedestal per ritual we do. Make sure when crafting these you don't use the crystals that you just made and attuned, because it will happily accept these crystals in the crafting recipe, but obviously you didn't put all the work into them just to use them up for crafting. To do a ritual, you start by building your, as usual, your marble structure around the central block, and then you put in a tuned celestial crystal in there. Let's start with the Visio one. And this will give you creative flight. Well, it will give you the effect of the ritual in a small area, or a limited effect of the ritual. I think for this is 32 blocks. Okay, maybe it's more than 32 blocks, but there we go. That's the limit. Which is not very big, right? It doesn't even cover half our base. We'll obviously want to do better than that. So to increase the range or effect of rituals, you need to shine more starlight into them. To do so, you'll want to take one of these celestial collector crystals, which remember are invisible until you place them down, and shine its starlight onto it. So you have to build the structure as before. Whoopsie daisy, I accidentally turned both of my Lucerna crystals into collectors. So I'm definitely going to lose this item because, I mean, how am I supposed to see that it's there? But what that means is I have to make another Lucerna crystal. What that also means is I have to turn the Visio crystal into a collector crystal. Another item we'll need to craft are lenses. So lenses are actually one of the first items that craft using crystals, where the stats of the crystal actually matters. So the the celestial crystal or the rock crystal that you use to craft with, I think the size determines how many you get per craft, and the purity and cutting determine the effectiveness of the lens. So ideally, you craft it with your perfect crystals. So like this, we get 11 with a max size crystal, and with 100 purity and cutting, that means that I think when like light travels through lenses, it has a tendency to, lose some of its efficacy. But the better your lenses are, the less that happens. So I'm going to make a significantly large batch of these. Hopefully these will just be enough to last us forever. To boost your ritual, you want to link the collector crystal to your ritual pedestal. And you'll see, once you do so, you see this light beam that shines off. You will then need to reflect that light back onto the ritual pedestal. So I think it's here, right? You build 2 up, and then you place a lens there, and then you link the lens back to the ritual pedestal. You have to do this 5 times total. So there's number 2. And when you link the 5th one back, you should see that the shape of the constellation faintly appears on the ground. Here, you can see it much better at night, but that's when you know it's done. And at this point, we have creative flight out to a much larger radius. I think it's something like 32 blocks default, plus 100 or plus 16 blocks per light beam you reflect back. So yep, here's right around here's the range. About 100 blocks is more or less what I expected. No, is it not working yet? I don't know. Anyways, it provides a relatively large area of creative flight. Now, it used to be in Astral Sorcery that if you remove the crystal from the pedestal with shift right click, first of all, when you remove it, you can take a look at, there's a stat called fracturing, which is currently at 0. We'll have to keep an eye on that. If that ever gets all the way up to 100, it destroys the crystal. But it used to be that if you remove the crystal and placed it back, these 5 light beams would change. And that's very annoying because then you'd have to, reflect the light back from different positions, or surround the pedestal, the ritual pedestal entirely with lenses. But that has since been fixed, and now it's deterministic when you put it back, which is nice. All right, so here's our flight ritual. Let me set up another one to do the peaceful so that we don't get mobs like that. The peaceful ritual has a much larger radius. I can really put that wherever. But remember, the limitation is that these collectors cannot be within 15 blocks of each other. So I don't know. I'll put it over here somewhere, I guess. So with the Lucernia ritual here done, I should be able to go make it nighttime. And 1, no mobs should spawn to ambush me anymore. 2, we can more clearly see the mark that your ritual has all the light beams bouncing into it. And yeah, I think any mobs left out here are leftovers from before. But now you can see there's absolutely no hostile mobs spawning from darkness. It fortunately does not affect stuff like mob spawners or cursed earth, so those our spawners there will continue to keep working. Nice. Alright, so with that out of the way, let's move on to the next thing I want to do, and that would be the enchanting system. The Astral Sorcery enchanting system is one of the most powerful enchanting systems in the game because it breaks the rules. Normally when you do stuff like fortune, your fortune enchant only goes up to tier 3, fortune 3. Astral Sorcery breaks that. You can go up to, I don't know, maybe, I think 6 or 7 is the highest I've seen. But to do so, we need to find a very specific constellation. And that is the last constellation that oh my gosh, wait, it's up today? This is it, right? Hold on. 1, 2, 3, where's the other? Yeah, this is it. Huh, this is a 1 in 45 or something chance. I'm going to figure out exactly how often this constellation comes up, the Horologium constellation. Alright, so this constellation, the Horologium constellation, comes up every 36 days. I just by pure luck it happened to be today, which is great. What I can do then, if I want to keep it on this day, as long as it hasn't reached a certain point in the day, or like too early in the day, I can just hit the ritual again and it stays on this day, 1316. If you press F3, you can see it in the local difficulty. That's like right where the top of the tank is. I can't point at it because it moves, but it's day 1316. There's also a command to do it, but apparently you need op to do so, and I can't do that without opping myself. So anyways, yeah, day 1316 and every 36 days afterwards will be a Horologium day. Let's keep that in mind. Now I need to make the stellar refraction table. Sure, this doesn't look too bad. And this is the enchanting, I guess like the enchanter for Astral Sorcery. To use the stellar refraction table, we obviously have to place it down. When you open its UI, there's room for, well, I think it's parchment that you need to place in it. Yep, so you see that goes into that slot. And then you can place a piece of infused glass on it. And then we have to etch the glass. So these are the constellations that are out today. And you have to drag them on the picture. And I'm just going to pick randomly. Sometimes it doesn't like it. There we go. Here's an engraved glass. Depending on which constellations you choose, you get different effects. So I guess let's grab a book. And we can put the book, I think, is it in place of the paper? And it will enchant the book with the etched glass. Now this specific piece of glass I chose, or the specific constellations I put on there, I don't think will give us a particularly good book. But here we see, well, I mean, Mending 3, Fortune 5, Looting 4. That's actually, for a blind guess, that's not half bad. It does use the durability of the glass up a little bit, but I'm somewhat curious if the glass is repairable. Now, it's not actually that useful to enchant books like this, because if you enchant a book, you have to transfer the book enchant onto your gear, right? And doing so actually reduces the enchantment level to the maximum that vanilla will allow. So let me try to see if I can actually repair this glass in some way. What I'm testing is, could an energetic infuser with the repair augment repair it? And it's looking like no. It's draining power and essence, but the durability isn't going up. So I suspect the answer is no. Oh well, that's a shame. I'm going to leave it in there a little while. They can be enchanted with Unbreaking, I think, so that if you enchant them with Unbreaking, you get more uses out of it. But yeah, we see it's like completing operations, but it's not actually doing anything. So I suspect that this is specifically coded such that it is not repairable. I made another glass with Horologium, Avedius, and Florax, and I got this nice book out of it. Anyways, I think this even has a higher level of Fortune and Looting, right? This is 6 and 5 versus this one. Let's see. Enchanted Book, which was 5 and 4. So yeah, I'll probably make a pickaxe and apply this to it. I'm actually not sure what pickaxe is good. Because normally I would just do like a diamond pick, but obviously that's not a thing. What about a dark pick? Are these enabled? They are. And they're easy to make. I can empower them later. Sure. Actually, I have an idea. Let's make the Astral Sorcery pick. So I grab, I only have 3 left. Are these not done yet? Alright, whatever then. 3 of these, and then we can make a pickaxe out of them. So this just gets you a crystal pick, which is fine. It's a good pickaxe, but we can make it better by infusing it with starlight. This actually takes a fair bit of starlight, so you see it used up a fair bit of that liquid starlight. But now we have an infused crystal pick. The infused crystal pick just has like vein miner built into it. Suppose it's not particularly useful in that sense. But anyways, then we can enchant it. And we should get all of those traits on it. We might not get stuff like, the Bane of Arthropods or whatever, because it's a pickaxe after all. We only got fortune on it. That's unfortunate. Get it? But I mean, it's fortune 7. So let's actually test this. So I think like unbreaking doesn't work on these because they don't have a durability. Instead, the size goes down over time. Or is it the cutting that goes down? One of the stats goes down over time. In any event, let's see how good Fortune 7 is. It's actually Fortune 8 if you keep if you remember we have that trait that increases our fortune level by 1. So let's try it on let's do quartz, I guess. Quartz. So with this level of fortune, we get 6. Whereas normally, you get 1 without any fortune. And that might even be a low roll. Let's get some diamonds. With diamonds here, when you mine it, wait a second, that's only 1. Game. Oh, that was a lot more than 1. That was 6. Another 6. Another 6. Another 6. A single 1. 2. But anyways, this high level of fortune just makes it, better for, orbs that are affected by fortune. But you see, okay, yeah, over time, the cutting is what goes down as you use it. You can sharpen it on a grinding wheel, just like a regular crystal. That makes its size go down, and then you can throw it in a pool of starlight to make its size go back up. So technically, this has infinite durability. I applied the things to a sword. So this sword has Smite, Bane of Arthropods, and Sharpness. So again, it doesn't follow the rules of enchanting, right? You can have mutually exclusive enchants. They go above their max level, yada, yada, yada. Anyways, that's most of the power of, well, maybe not most, but a significant amount of the power of the system comes from the Horologium enchant. That's what gives looting and fortune. But you can also use it to like enchant armor, which, well, obviously armor can't receive the benefits of looting or fortune. You can still like go above, protection can go above level, 4 or 5. And you can put protection and fire protection on the same pieces, yada, yada, yada. For armor, I'm trying to put Avedius, Alteria, and Lucerna together. I'm expecting this effect will be, well, let's see what we get when we enchant a book. But I'm expecting to get multiple forms of protection, as well as mending, unbreaking, and maybe even night vision. So, who knows? I do need to, replace my helmet and legs, and my boots don't appear to be enchanted. So, what did we get? Yep, mending, unbreaking, fire, blast, and projectile protection. But I didn't get regular protection. I mean, I can add that on later, I guess. Yeah, that seems fair. I wonder, is there a way I can get regular protection? Armara gives protection, but I would give up. Okay, yeah, I have an idea. So I will use this to enchant a helmet, because this gives night vision, and night vision only works on helmet. And then I will enchant a different one that has protection on it instead of night vision. Is Armara up to night? No, that's Mineralis. It is not. That's a shame. I enchanted a full set of armor with this, just in case I can't get better results on the line. But yeah, I'm gonna try to now get a Engraved Glass that has, or I guess I want all the protections, right? Fire, blast, projectile, and regular protection. Fortunately, no matter what I do, I don't seem to be able to get rather regular protection, as well as blast, fire, and projectile protection on the same book. They come from 2 different constellations. It's let's see, Armara for regular protection, and I think it's Alteria for the specialized protections. But yeah, they just don't seem to stack. I was thinking that I could just if I tried to apply this book onto, like, say, these boots in a regular enchanting table, it doesn't work. I was going to hope I could apply it with the mana enchanter, the Botania enchanter, but it doesn't appear to have a recipe. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to go without regular protection. So let's swap these 2 pieces out for these 2. There we go. And then, yeah, I'm a little lacking on regular protection, but I mean, at least fire and explosions and arrows won't hurt me anymore, right? One more thing I want to enchant is just a bow. I think I can get ridiculous levels of power and stuff, so I'm gonna enchant a bow real quick. So to wrap up our enchanting spree, I made a bow with infinity and power 7. So shoots arrows without needing ammo, and has a very high level of power. I don't know if I actually use it, but it's just good to have. Anyways, I swear, there's one last thing I want to do in Astral Sorcery, and that is to make the Resplendent Prism. So I made a few extra shifting stars earlier, but the Resplendent Prism is used to, how do I describe it? It'll give bonuses to enchantments. So the best one is like it's a little random, but you can get up to something that says like +1 to all existing enchantments. Let me make one that might be more clear. When you first make the Resplendent Prism, it has random trait to it. This one has +1 level to existing soulbound. That's a solid contender for the least useful trait in the game. So you can re-roll it by crafting it again. Takes a bucket of resonating gem and 2 stardust. So the idea is, if you don't like the enchantment boosts it gives you, well, just keep rolling until you like something you get. So, this is very good. The +1 level to all existing enchantments is what I was going for. And that's actually a 2% chance. So it's very lucky that we got it there. But that basically just means any enchantment I have now gets another level. So mending 3, now it's mending 4. I'm pretty sure that makes literally, it might actually already apply. Yeah, okay. So that mending 2 is now mending 3. Like night vision becomes night vision 2. But for the stuff that does matter, unbreaking tiers matter, the protections matter, and for stuff like this, the fortune. Wait, does it not do anything? 6, 8. Is that how that works? 7, 8. Why did I say 6 before? Wait, it's 6? Oh, I see. So 6 is a level on the tool. 7 is when it gets the global +1 from my abilities, and 8 is with the Resplendent Prism. I was definitely expecting to need to reroll it more than once. I've been very lucky this episode. Anyways, I think at this point we've done everything that I plan to do in Astral Sorcery for the immediate future. And just to put our Fortune 8 to the test, let's see how much we get off 1 stack of diamond ore. Right, this tool does not have ore excavator. That's unfortunate. How do I turn on its vein miner mode? It's infused, right? Yeah, I don't know. Alright, well, let's mine these one by one. That makes it less good. I could try to apply the excavate modifier to it, but then I think if I apply the enchantment through a vanilla crafting table or through a vanilla anvil, the anvil's like, wait a second, you're cheating. You can't have that enchantment. And it takes away my extra enchantment levels. Anyways, off 1 stack we got, that's less good than I thought. 3.5? Out of curiosity, let's compare that to the Tinker's Pick, see what I get. Well, okay, it is more. I get a little over 2 stacks with the Tinker's Pick. So, I mean, I guess all these fortune levels aren't entirely wasted. Well, that's all I've got for today. So, starting tomorrow, we will move on to actual progression-y things with this alchemy mod. Alchemistry mod, and yeah, I'm sure you guys are all sick of me doing astral sorcery things, and I finally run out of things to do. So we'll come back tomorrow and move on with progression. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I hope to see you in the next one. Take care. Bye bye.